Good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on when you are watching this week's Ups and Downs. But yes, this is Ups and Downs for SmackDown, where we take our critical eye and we decide what's good and we decide what's bad. What a world we live in today. And if you are new, welcome. My name is Simon Miller from What Culture, and make sure you get that comment finger ready, because you know I'm going to say something you don't like, and you know those lovely comments are waiting below for you to write something saying, "No, Simon, I don't agree," but that's why life is wonderful. That's why life is beautiful. #opinions. And that's all cool, because everything is cool when you're me, Simon Miller. Well, that's not true at all, actually. My internal body temperature is always at like 720 degrees, but let's not get carried away and let's up some downs. SmackDown this week had another blinding start where you sit back and you go, oh yeah, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens and Daniel Bryan are all terrific performers, so it's clearly going to get an up. It was fun right off the bat because we were in Daniel Bryan's hometown, so the crowd was all ecstatic and excited to see him, and then Sami Zayn came out and he was like, haha, get this, I'm an amazing heel, and he put on a terrific performance. He just makes so much sense, and that makes him easier to hate, especially when he takes this sense and he starts throwing it in your face. He wasn't given the opportunities that he thought he deserved, and he was shunned by a lot of people, so he has every right to be pissed off. Then he ran down Bryan for a while, including the fact that he had to retire, and while it is a shame that Daniel Bryan can't get physical here, it was just a great segment, which got even better because then Kevin Owens came out, he joined in the party, and he said a load of good stuff as well. Everyone here just played off each other perfectly. Kevin and Sami have great chemistry, and when it was all said and done, I was like, you know what? These guys are all just magnificent. They're magnificent people. Knowing he couldn't do much, Daniel did use his power to say that he was going to go out and find two people that could punch these two idiots in the face, which led to another up, because the match we got at the end of the night was Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn taking on the team once more of Nakamura and Randy Orton. And unlike last week, I actually enjoyed it this week, so it gets an up. Also, just think about that for a minute too. Imagine a few years ago I had said to you, one day we're going to get a tag match with a bunch of these Ring of Honor dudes, this New Japan guy, and a WWE stalwart. You would have been like, what are you talking about, Nilla? You've gone crazy. And I would have agreed with you. But look what life gave us. Look what it gave us. This was awesome though, and the finish of Sami Zayn giving Orton a low blow to get the victory was great, because if nothing else, we actually got the visual of Sami Zayn pinning Randy Orton, and all of a sudden Sami Zayn feels all important again. It got even better still, because after all of this, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were celebrating like lunatics, which led Daniel Bryan to say, yeah, you know what? Guess who's back next week? That's right, it's Shane McMahon. And then Owens and Zayn were like, oh no, that can't be good. Also, as a quick aside, Kevin Owens was very keen to now underline that Sami Zayn was his best friend. So maybe we see Chris Jericho in here somewhere, or maybe I'm just making that up in my head. Either way, keep an eye on that. All this was excellent though, and it made me happy in my bones, and let's face it, who doesn't want to have happy bones? If you haven't got happy bones, you're just a big loser. Rewinding what happened to after the first segment though, we did get a 6 women's tag team match, and while I actually thought that was kind of decent, I never like it when WWE does do stuff like this, so it's getting a down. I just don't think we need to throw all the women into one big match just to get them onto the card, especially because we do have a feud here between Charlotte and Natalya. Come up with good storylines and good angles to progress that, as opposed to getting them being like, wah, and just hurling them into one big ball of, I don't know, mess. Anyway, we did have Charlotte, Becky and Naomi taking on Tamina, Lana and Natalya, and Charlotte got the win when she put the figure 8 on Lana, and it was good. It was pretty good. And then we did get a big brawl afterwards between Natalya and Charlotte, but again, if that's your focus, let's make that the focus, and let's take the other women and come up with focuses for them as well. I just prefer that. Maybe I'm being a pedant, but I am a pedant because that's my job. I'm not really sure what to say about the Fashion Files, however I will give it an up, because Breezango are just so goofy, they make me laugh, but maybe we now need to start transitioning away from these. It was the long-awaited Pulp Fiction parody, and all we really had was a long back and forth here, as the Ascension and Tyler Breeze and Fandango made a lot of funnies, and they did reference that surely to be meant the Bludgeon Brothers, but they just ignored all that and went off in a whole new direction. Now, it does seem like we're going to get a few more of these, and that's fine, but I also think like the time to strike is now. Breezango are over, and they're over because of these skits, so let's get them in the ring, and let's start building them up as wrestlers, and maybe even make the #1 contenders down the line. These skits have served their purpose, so allowing them to go on for too long is then going to make that go in reverse, and they'll start to lose their purpose. The point was to get Breezango over, and for my money, they're over. Just don't go now and allow them to be destroyed by the Bludgeon Brothers, because what a waste of time that would have been. A huge down to Sin Cara beating Baron Corbin though. What are we doing? Down, 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 down. Now this was by count out, but still, what was the point of allowing Baron Corbin to beat AJ Styles last week so he actually feels like a threat only to move forward 7 days and have him lose via count out to Sin Cara, a man that I'd forgotten about because he's never on television? I don't understand what the plan is anymore. I don't understand it. I don't understand how anyone in WWE could have thought this was a good idea. You know what? That's it. I'm done. See you later. Miller out. I'm walking over here. I'm going to screw up the green screen and everything. I don't care. Okay, I'm back. Just jump cut right back into the frame, which is good because then we got a lot of tag team stuff on SmackDown and I enjoyed it. Just getting it up. Now, firstly, we teased a feud between the Usos and Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable. I'm all right with that because those four will have amazing matches. And then we did have another vignette for the Bludgeon Brothers. Don't get me wrong, this gimmick is ridiculous, but it's also two giant dudes with two giant hammers and they just smash them into the floor. That's ridiculous, and I love ridiculous, so I've decided that I am the new biggest fan of the Bludgeon Brothers, and I can't wait to see them debut! Who saw that coming? And now here we are, the segment that I think most people want to talk about, and that is Jinder Mahal coming out for his SmackDown promo, his big announcement, and saying that yes, he wants to challenge Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series. Now this is good in many ways because it encourages debate. However, if we look at it in context, it's getting it down. The main reason for this is again just the bizarre logic WWE applies when we get to such situations. I mean, for one, Jinder Mahal has no reason to challenge Brock Lesnar other than the fact that someone backstage said, Jinder, your mission for tonight is to go out there and challenge Brock Lesnar. I mean, that's it. That's fine to a certain degree, but it makes no sense. The truly bizarre moment, though, was that AJ Styles then came out and seemingly injected himself into a feud for Jinder, which, you know, there's a point there because we need a feud for SmackDown. But what was WWE thinking? Last week you had him losing to Baron Corbin. He lost his US title. Now he's just the #1 contender for the world champion, or at least seemed deemed worthy enough that he can be in that mix, and he should be in that mix because he's AJ Styles. But this just underlines your own belts, because I'm like, well, apparently if you lose the US title, you're still good enough to challenge for the world title. So what does any of those things mean? None of the belts have any prestige, and then for some reason we were told that next week it's going to be AJ Styles versus one of the Singh brothers. I mean, that's okay again, because AJ Styles can make anything good, but it's madness. We'll hear from Brock on Raw 2 about this challenge, and yes, it does seem very likely that the Survivor Series main event is going to be Jinder Mahal versus Brock Lesnar. Remember what I said earlier about turning the clock back and discussing potential scenarios you never thought were going to happen? Right here, man. Right here. Then Dolph Ziggler beat Bobby Roode in about 3 minutes by holding the tights after a roll-up. Kill me down. The biggest up of last night's show, though, does go to everything that happened between the New Day, Aiden English and Rusev. It was hilarious, it was entertaining, it made my heart smile. It's getting up. You should just go and watch it, but the short version is Aiden English was having a little sing-song, the New Day turned up and just danced constantly, and then Rusev arrived to say there's no such thing as the New Day, only such a thing as Rusev Day. And I'm all for an English Rusev versus the New Day feud, because everyone here is so damn entertaining. They make me want to watch wrestling. And that's what I want from my segments. I want them to make me want to watch wrestling. And as you know, I love Rusev. Rusev, you're like my heart, you're my soul, you're my everything. Much like Kane on Raw, I want to marry you too. I want to have you two in a big marriage, and what a lovely life we'll lead. And that was SmackDown, and luckily the good bits were really good, so they offset the bad bits, which were really bad. And the show is going to kind of like flounder for a few weeks. We don't have a pay-per-view for ages, but still, it was entertaining enough, it was fun enough, and it's only 2 hours, which always helps massively. Now don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you thought about last night's SmackDown. Like, share, and subscribe. Head on over to whatculture.com, read yourself some articles such as Ups and Downs. Follow What Culture on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE. My name is Simon from What Culture. I'm your man with the ups and downs. And if you are feeling a bit down today, just remember, everything's going to be alright, because everything is usually alright.